It's time for
Plug and Play.
Plug and Play. Plug and Play. All right, every week, someone sends us a lineup. Well, more than one person sends us a lineup, but we pick one person and we set their lineup on the show. This week it is Elijah, also known as that one guy, E3. Apparently he loves the Electronic Entertainment Expo that happens in Los Angeles every year.
I thought he made an error at first base.
Oh, maybe that too.
You're going to fill in for Freddie Freeman in the playoffs?
Hey, he's going to be healthy by the division series.
Well, it'll take 3 weeks to get there.
Anyway, what are we doing here with this lineup?
You know, I wanted to focus in on the quarterback situation because Anthony Richardson has been one of the most disappointing players in all of fantasy football. I saw him going as the 1.01 in the Scott Fishbowl League, which is those leagues. It's an industry league that everybody plays in. It heavily favors running quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson hasn't shown that. So I know that you might think that, hey, maybe I go with Baker Mayfield. But the only thing I would say about Baker Mayfield is that even though Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has been breaking down film since it was on a VHS tape, he is still very good at what he does. And since I looked at what he did to Derek Carr last week, I think Baker and Derek are kind of like in the same category to me. So I'm going to stick with Anthony Richardson, even though I know you might be tempted to look at another spot.
Kids, a VHS is what was that used to be what we streamed
if Florio
movies
paid
on.
attention during this segment, I would see the bewilderment in his eye.
Yeah.
He's on his phone.
He's doing something else right
Do your thing.
In the meantime, I'm looking at some of these wide receivers and flex spots here. Jameson Williams, who I absolutely love. He's a big part of what they're doing in Detroit. Jaden Reed, I actually feel okay with. What I'm worried about, though, is Ramondre Stevenson going against the 49ers. So I would probably, in this instance, I would sit Ramondre. I would take Jaden Reed, and I would move him over here to the flex spot. And then I follow it up by going and look, I know you're worried about Baker Mayfield. I'm not quite as worried about Mike Evans because the Eagles do give up big plays in the passing game. So even if they sort of torment Baker Mayfield, I do think you can see Mike Evans getting downfield because, you get Baker with the whole, screw it, Mike's down there somewhere. I see you squinting. And
Why wouldn't you just put Mike Evans in the flex spot?
I don't know, because...
Why was it so difficult?
Because
you know what I would do? And then I would move J-Mo down here.
Yeah.
And then I would move Mike Evans.
So I put J-Mo, so then I take Jameson Williams, and I would put him in the wide receiver 2 spot, and then you make sure that Mike Evans is your wide receiver 1.
Right there.
Yeah, I just wanted more. I just needed a...
They spent a lot of money on this thing.
I just needed a Pepe Sylvia moment with a whole bunch of, arrows and emojis.
You see
on
Tyler
here.
Lockett right here? Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
Right. And then you have a cold front sweeping up over the Midwest, and there's a whole thing that's happening right now.
Then what I would do is get out my pager, and I would send it to Mike Pittman Sr.
We did notice, though, that Elijah has a lot of exposure to the Colts and the Steelers in this one, and our researcher, Kendall, has dug up a really interesting stat about that game. Now, last week, Kendall had a really nice tidbit about Christian Kirk that sort of paid off. So what do you have about this one coming up this weekend?
Yeah, we're going to go back to the receiver alignment well and hope there's still some water in there. And I'm going to piggyback on what Rank said yesterday on George Pickens. I think it's a start George Pickens week. Although the Steelers have the 3rd lowest pass rate in the NFL this year, Pickens really makes it worth your while by getting a lot of chunk plays on every touch. He's averaged the 3rd most yards per reception since entering the NFL and has a very nice matchup this week against the Colts. You can see here that they're at the bottom of the league when it comes to defending opponents lined up on the perimeter, and their outside corners are allowing an 11% catch rate over expectation and more than 10 yards per attempt this season, both of which are 2nd most in the NFL. Now, the fact that over 80% or about 80% of Pickens' production this season has come from a wide alignment, and the fact that he has a knack for making chunk yardage plays when he gets the ball in his hands, feels like this is a recipe for him to go off in a big way this weekend.
A recipe like this meal right here that sorry. I'm just trying.
Exactly. Alvin Kamara's going to eat, and then there's a birthday cake for Mike Gesicki or something. If you want to go digging for more nuggets like that one, upgrade your Sundays with NFL Plus Premium. Watch live, local, and primetime games on mobile devices, plus NFL Red Zone, game replays, access to NFL Pro, and more. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com. Subscription required for NFL Plus Premium. Terms and conditions apply.